back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Lauren, and today I'm going to be doing a military/military spouse Q&A. I've had a few questions here and there about what it's like being a military wife or a military spouse. So I figured I'd just pop on here and answer some questions for you. Okay, so for the first question, it is, how often do you get to see your family? So we live in Virginia and we are from Pennsylvania. So where we live in Pennsylvania, it's about a 4-hour drive. So it's not too awful far for us to go home and visit for like the weekend or something like that. So we do go home and visit quite a bit, I would say. I would say at least once a month. We're very lucky as to how close we are to home, because a lot of people get stationed in California and their hometown is on the East Coast, which is not very great for family, but I am very thankful that we are living in Virginia because we're super close to home. Number 2, how often or have you started a military group at your base with other women? No, I have not started another like a page for military spouses. There are quite a few pages for military spouses that I'm on, and it's a nice way to get out there. Like if you want to do something and you don't know too many people there, like in the place where you are stationed, then you can put like, hey, is anybody like wanting to do something today? And quite a few people will comment and you can hang out with a bunch of different people. It's super easy. You just have to be kind of consistent with it if that's what you want. Number 3, where would be your favorite place to be stationed? My favorite place to be stationed, I don't know. So funny enough, I wanted to go to California just because my husband was stationed in California for about a year or so for his schooling, and when I went to visit him, I loved it. He wasn't a fan of it, but I just wanted to try it out and see what was different than home, at least. So I would say probably California or Florida. I like the hot months. I don't like winter. I'm not a huge fan of snow. So that's why I like them better. So if I could choose, I would probably say California or Florida. Number 4, what's it like on base? So on base, it's kind of like a little town. There is a town on base because we live near Quantico. That's the base that my husband works at. So you enter through the gate. You have to show like an ID or something like that. It is super quick. So once you go through the gate, you have to like travel, I'd say about 4 or 5 miles, and then you're to like all of the buildings in the town. And they have like the commissary, the PX, the little mart thing for the people that live at the barracks. I would say it's really big. There's a front part of the military base, and then there's a back for the I can't remember what it's called. It's for the officers that are training, the TBS. It's a TBS side. I don't know too much about it. I just know from what my husband talks about at home sometimes. So I don't know too much about it, but it is fairly big. But to like cap it, I would say it's like a little town here for the most part, where you can get basically anything. All right, number 5, I've heard it's hard to be friends with military wives. Is that true? No. It is super easy if you have like I would say like a bubbly personality and you're looking for somebody like that to be friends with. There are so many options. You can be friends with as many people as you can think of. You just have to get out there. And like I said, like with the pages, all you have to do is comment and you could be hanging out with somebody that day. So it's not hard. So I made one really good friend whenever I first got here. She has recently moved to Georgia, so she's not here anymore. So it does suck being a military wife and making friends in that aspect, because one of us will move away eventually. I still keep in contact with her, and we're still really good friends, and I'm super blessed to have met her here, because I don't know what I would have done without her. But yes, it is super easy to make friends here. You just have to want it. Okay, number 6, are there any plans of PCS in the future that you know of yet? No. So my husband has a 5-year contract, and so for that whole 5 years, one of the years he spent in California, and then the remainder 4 years will be in Virginia. And he doesn't plan on re-enlisting. He's not a huge fan of the military life, I guess you could say. He just isn't a huge fan of it, and he wants to get out and be a state police officer. So that is our plan for that. And once we're done here in Virginia, we might stay in Virginia depending on where he gets a job. So he's going to be applying for like Pennsylvania and Virginia, because we're in Virginia now, so it wouldn't be too bad to stay. And he's gonna apply in Pennsylvania because that's where we're from. And we both want to go home, so we'll see how that works for us. But as of right now, we are not going anywhere. There are no plans of going anywhere else besides us being in Virginia right now. Number 7, is it a struggle continuing your career with moving so much? I would say at the beginning, yes and no. So when I first got here, I didn't have my career set yet. I wasn't like bringing it with me. I was basically just finding something to do. But since we've been here, I've gone to school, and I've gone to school to be a medical assistant, and right now I'm working in an urgent care setting. So I don't know how it will be once we have to move again, but I don't think it'll be too awful hard, because you always need medical people everywhere. So it's not like something that you can only get in one place. It is everywhere. So I don't think it'll be a struggle for me personally, but depending on what your profession is, it could be a little complicated for you. Number 7, is it a struggle continuing? Oh, nope, not that one. All right, number 8, is it hard to let friends on base? I've never had to go through that. We live a little off base, so it's not on base. You don't have to go through the gate to get through or anything. But from my understanding, all you need to do is let the gate know. Either that, or I believe you can get them a pass or something like that to get them on base. But because we live around Quantico, from my understanding, is an open base, so almost anybody can get on as long as you have an ID. So if we did live on base, I don't think it would be a problem for our friends to get on base. How does Gage's schedule work? So his schedule, a lot of people think that if you're in the military, you're working crazy hours, and that's not really true, at least for my husband's job. So he works on like the base, I don't know how to explain it. He works on like telephones and that type of thing, so he's basically a nerd. But so he works like 7:30 to 4:30, and he gets to come home after that. But that's basically it. He does have PT in the morning, so he does leave the house at like 4:30 or so. So he does get up pretty early, but his hours basically never change unless he has to stay and help for something. So yeah, so it's basically 7:30 to 4:30, which is like a 9 to 5 type job. So it's not like anything too extravagant. Number 10, what was / is the hardest part of being married into the military? I would say being away from family is the hardest part for me. Even though we are super close, we don't always have a ton of time to go home because I work full time and he's working all the time. But I think not being able to see family is the hardest part for me because I'm super close to my family, my mom and my brothers, and I wish I could see them every day. I don't know. I just wish that it was a little easier. I wish that we could be living in our hometown, but I would say that's the hardest part of being married into the military for me, personally. Okay, number 11, what branch of the military is your husband in? He's in the Marines. Ever since he was younger, that's what he wanted to do. He wanted to go into the Marines, and that's what he's in. Number 12, do you get nervous with Gage working in the military? At first, when he went to boot camp, I was a wreck, to be 100% honest. I always thought the worst and everything like that, but ever since we moved to Virginia, no. I don't get nervous with him working in the Marines. It's nothing to be nervous about. I mean, you always have the chance where he could get deployed or something like that, but he's in a non-deployable unit at the moment, so there are no there's nothing from, I don't know, I don't worry too much, I guess I could say. Okay, number 13, how did you respond when Gage decided to enlist? He wanted to enlist ever since we got together, so it wasn't something new for me. I always knew that he was going to go into the military, and I thought it was pretty cool. Whenever we first started seeing each other, he would show me videos of it, and he loved the idea of going into the military, so I was happy for him to do whatever he wanted to do. Will you have your first baby while your husband is active duty? We don't know. It could happen, or it could happen once he gets out. It's not something that we have on a timeline. You never know. If it happens, it happens. But to be honest, I want a baby right now, but I can wait until it happens. I don't know. Yeah, so it could happen in the future, near future, or after he gets out. It's not something that is like, we need to have a baby now. Like, you know, it can wait if need be. Okay, last question. How frequently can letters be sent in boot camp? So when he was in boot camp for 13 weeks, I want to say. And I started writing letters from the first day that he left, and I would send them basically every day. I got quite a few letters back. I mean, if you think about it, he's sending letters to his parents and his gram, that type of thing. So you're not going to get a ton, but to keep me sane, I wrote them every day and I sent them every day. And yeah, he gets them, and a lot of times he couldn't write back because he was in training, obviously, and he has to focus on that. But in the letters, you just gotta keep them encouraged and keep them going, because it's hard. It's hard being away and training like that. But if you keep them encouraged, it's super great whenever you go to see them graduate. That was an amazing thing that I've done. It was so nice. And I went to my best friend's graduation, Marine boot camp graduation as well, and I love going. I loved seeing how happy they were that they actually finally made it after 13 long weeks. And occasionally I got one phone call, I want to say, from him. It was after, I don't even know the reason. I think it was after he graduated, after he graduated boot camp, and he was just waiting to finish graduating, I guess, for us to come see him graduate. And he called, and I had my phone on me for that whole entire day when I knew he was gonna call. and I just like jumped on the phone because you know you can't call them back. Okay guys, that is all for the video today. I hope you enjoyed, and if you like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button. There will be more videos to come, and if you have any suggestions, go ahead and put them down in the comments. I would be happy to do them for you. Bye guys.